One.
Hello and welcome to the 2022 Pitbull RC Super Series here at Blue Rocks Family Campground in beautiful Lyndharts, Pennsylvania. Lyndhartsville, Pennsylvania. I'm here with a man that really needs no introduction if you are an endurance RC fanatic, especially the FIX Enduro. Dave Johnson, tell everyone.
Well, this will be my 6th time doing any endurance event, and this will be my 5th time doing the FIX. It started out at
Missouri.
Yeah.
At the Missouri G6 at Flat Nasty. Yep.
For 6 hours. That was my first any G6 event, and everybody came up to me and they're like, man, well, there's a whole bunch of these events, and I'm like, you know what? That 6-hour one looks pretty tempting. I'm gonna have to go for that, and because I just want to run my rig for six hours straight. And they're like, are you sure? Is that really what you want to do? There's a lot of more fun. No, 6 hours. We're gonna go for it, and it was really cool. Me and one other guy, we came, and there was a big open area, and we just had a flat out run. We're just like, and finally we're like, okay, we're wore out. Let's just stand here and see who can get the truck the closest to the. And so it was pretty awesome to finish up the way it did. But
so when was your first 12-hour FIX Enduro?
The first 12-hour one was when we went to Las Vegas.
That's right.
My son wasn't even a year
at
old
Logandale.
Yet.
At Logandale. Ooh, that was before the format changed. That was the chaotic one that kept drivers mentally. It was exhausting because you didn't know what loop you had to go out on.
You did not know, and it was taking guesses. And then the start of it was was picking the blue rocks out in the middle of it. You had to run out there. That was the qualifier. Was run out there to pick the blue rock and then come back whoever the quickest. And that one was.
That was tough.
It was tough, but it was an interesting one.
Yes.
It was one of the more interesting ones I'd been to.
Because mentally, it really kept you on your toes.
It did. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that was also the year where we had a cutoff time. If you didn't have a certain amount of laps in by a certain time, that was it. You didn't continue.
That is correct.
So it put a little bit extra pressure on people.
It did, and mine was. So here's the funny part was. A lot of the guys was from around that area, and they hit them rocks. And I'm from Missouri, so there's moss on rocks everywhere out there. There's not a moss on any rock out there, and it just has traction.
No, that moss is called lichen, and it was pure traction. It's like dried, fossilized moss. Yeah.
And they're like, you haven't built your rig right. You look like you're flipping it. And I'm like, I built this. You don't know how Missouri works, man. We got this slick stuff, and it's like you gotta spin your wheels and get it up there. Well, you need to put more forward weight on it, and you don't have it just built right. And I'm like, well, it's too late now. I gotta keep going, man.
So what? Why do you keep coming back and doing 12-hour FIX events?
It's me. I want to see what I can do. I've in the entire 5 years I've done it. I've certified 2 years out of it. The first year I was working with Viterra, and then last year I worked with Josh Voorhees and got them certified on their tow ropes and everything.
Very nice.
After everything that happened there.
But it does get into your blood.
And Jess.
That's for me, because this will be my third one.
But it does. It gets in
your blood.
It does, and I love it's the best of race format and crawling, because I've always wanted to crawl. Like I've played with stompers for years and stuff. I love getting out there in the mud and building a vehicle that'll just run through the mud, because stompers they made them about 5 feet and then they broke, and then you had to dig them. So these you get to build up and you get to run a stomper for just 6 straight hours, and it becomes on you. You've got to make yourself run the event.
What's your most memorable moment in one of your 12-hour FIX Enduro events?
Probably like last year was a good one. I came close to making the marathon distance. We busted a servo, and I was really wore out. It was just before my 30-minute break. So the way I run a FIX is I'll run to the 7-hour mark, and then I come in and take my 30-minute break. And it was just before I was coming in for my 30-minute break, and it broke 100 feet in. So I literally, the car would run, but the but the servo was
Yeah.
gone. So I hooked a tow strap to it, and we towed that thing out, and we had to sit there until the end of my 30 minutes, and I went and got a shower and got ready, and then I came in, we replaced the servo, and then got back out there, and I remember we were coming back, and I was passing people, and I'm like, why am I passing people? And they're like, well, it's really close to time, and you know,
they were trying to time because it's 12 hours plus one lap.
12 hours plus one lap, and I'm like, I think I can go for another one. And I come in, and they're like, well, you have like 5 minutes. I'm like, give me another lap. We're gonna go for another lap, and I come back around, and I got it, and I think I had like 24.
So you're just shy of a marathon. So that's your goal this year, is to get the marathon distance.
I've been close, and
stay tuned, follow along to see if David reaches his goal of doing a marathon distance. Any final words of wisdom?
Keep going, man. I am not the best athletic shape, but I'm telling you what, I'm just like a Mack truck. You just keep digging and just keep pushing forward. Anybody can do it. You just got to keep digging and never give up on yourself.
Yeah, and if you like to drive your RC car, it's just absolutely fun. There's nothing mundane about it because every lap is different. It's the same course, but literally when everyone drives it, it changes every lap. I'm Parker. This is the man of steel when it comes to FIX Enduros. He's come in, shins bleeding. We've seen him limp across the line, so it's highly fan favorite right here, driver. Stay tuned for our next FIX driver interview.